Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Late Breaking F1 podcast presented by Harry Eade, Sam Sage, and me, Ben Hocking. We're back for another preview because it's Singapore coming up this weekend, Sam. But not only that, we're actually going to be together for it.
Oh, thank goodness. The Singapore sling puts the three of us all in one room to do the reviews. Kirsty's actually going to be there as well, so she's going to deal with the fact that all of us are going to be not only intoxicated, but also talking incessantly about Formula One. So that's going to be fun. There is also a third one because Harry is here. Harry, you're here.
Hi there. Yes, so apologies, folks. I was actually supposed to be here on Sunday, but I was away, and I had all the intentions to be on it, and then I've left my microphone in the UK, and I was not in the UK. I even brought the wire.
Wait, I was surprised, mate. Is that not you're attached to it?
Laptop, wire, no microphone, which is not helpful. So I apologise for that. But I'm here now for the Singapore GP preview and review.
And qualifying review.
I'm here all week, baby.
Yeah, we've got the Singapore preview coming up today. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Under Pressure coming up, bold predictions, poll 1, 2, 3. We've got some comments from James Vowles about Colapinto and what possibly could be coming up for him in 2025. But we'll start with McLaren because they have taken over the lead of the Constructors Championship. It's the first time since early 2022 that Red Bull have not held the championship lead. And it's the first time since Australia 2014. And I still don't know how they had it then. But when McLaren last had the Constructors Championship lead.
Can we say that doesn't count? I don't want to count that because it just feels fake.
It's technically true, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's just...
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
When was it before that? 08?
Yeah, but a long time ago. Maybe in 2012 something. Anyway,
McLaren lead, and they're 20 points clear of Red Bull after Baku, and then 51 points clear of Ferrari. So we'll start with this question, Sam. Can and will McLaren extend that lead here in Singapore?
Yeah, I feel quite confident, actually, that McLaren have got what it takes at the moment to push on. What's most promising for them at the moment is it seems after recent form, their biggest competitors on track are not, in fact, Red Bull, who are they are closest to, of course, in the Constructors, but in fact, Ferrari. Singapore is a street circuit. It's very tight. It's very winding. It's got a lot of close contact corners. And the last time we had a track like this was, of course, Monaco, who did well in Monaco, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari. That car was set up brilliantly. And with the success that they found with these recent upgrades that we saw perform brilliantly in Baku, just missing out, of course, at the end there. And it probably was going to possibly be a double podium until the crash happened with Sainz and Perez at the end there. It looked very promising. And then before that, of course, Monza, a completely opposite track where it seemingly also performed very well. So Ferrari really finding their feet. I think that's going to be the closest fight that McLaren are going to find themselves having up front. And therefore, it's them I think they need to protect themselves from. Ferrari really not far away from Red Bull in the Constructors. Red Bull really at risk of falling back to third. They're only maintaining second place in the Constructors, which is crazy after they led it straight for what do we say now? 2.5 seasons now they've been leading the Constructors for. So the fact they might drop from first to third over in a matter of a fortnight, that's crazy. That is such a turn of form. But yeah, I think
more likely, Sam.
I genuinely think with the form that Sainz showed here last year, the form that Leclerc is running at the moment, Perez, I know he did brilliantly at Baku, but I don't expect that form to be maintained. I think Max Verstappen is going through a bit of turmoil at the moment. He will drive the socks off that car. He will try and get the most out of it. But if the car simply isn't there in comparison to its competitors, I can't see how he single-handedly is going to rein that back against both Ferrari and McLaren. It's not like he's going up against one other driver. There's 4 drivers there that are all very capable of podiuming in this race, if not winning this race. So it's going to be tough. I do think Ferrari have got the legs at the moment to possibly take second, and I do fear that is more likely than happening than Red Bull challenging again for the top spot.
Harry, how do you see this playing out? Do you think McLaren can extend the championship lead that obviously they've fought for quite a while to grab?
Based on the performances of the last at least 5 races, but you go further than that, you say yeah, because as a team performance, Piastri and Norris are stronger than Verstappen and Perez have been. And like you mentioned, Sam, Perez obviously had a good race in Baku, but even when he has a good damn race, he still doesn't score any points because he had a crash. So you'd only suggested that it's going to increase this weekend in Singapore. And I know we mentioned it before. Singapore form is a bit odd, so maybe Red Bull will be better this weekend. Maybe they'll be worse, but I I wouldn't necessarily write them completely off, but you'd say, given the form that Norris, we know how good Norris is, when he doesn't get knocked out in Q1, we also now see the form that Oscar Piastri's in. Together, that is a formidable duo to go and win a Constructors Championship with. So it's a better duo than Verstappen and Perez. As good as Verstappen is, he can't pull everyone along, and that includes Sergio Perez. So yeah, you'd have to say that the McLaren are favourites to extend. And I'm with Sam. I think Red Bull are going to soon be looking over their shoulder again at those prancing horses.
I firstly actually just want to say a quick congratulations to McLaren, because whilst the Azerbaijan Grand Prix might have been the crowning moment almost of getting into the lead, and who knows whether they'll keep it or not, but that is what an 18-month turnaround that is from where they are. So I think again, it's not the end result, but finally grabbing that championship lead, that has been months in the offing, right? That has been a lot of work gone into that. So congratulations to them, and we'll see if they can see it out for the rest of this season. It felt to me like Azerbaijan was this case of Red Bull had the opportunity to have something of a spirited comeback. And I know they were in the lead at that point, but it was like everything was sort of coming together for them. There were two things that happened at Azerbaijan that realistically haven't happened in a very long time. Number one of the McLarens didn't make it to Q3 and didn't even make it to Q2. And then Sergio Perez found form that he hasn't really seen for a good dozen races or so. So it felt like this was the opportunity for Red Bull to claim something back. And until the crash, that maybe they would have done. But the end result is McLaren have walked away with 38 points and Red Bull have walked away with 10. It just felt like almost this was the opportunity to get one back. And instead, McLaren have just, a 28-point difference is quite large. If for those wondering as well, the crash at the end was so pivotal, because without that, we're looking at about 5 points between McLaren and Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. Instead, we're looking at 20. And indeed, Ferrari would only be about 30 points back from the leaders rather than 50. So it was quite an important crash. Now we turn to Red Bull, who have been holding on to this lead for a while. It's tough to see what they can do. Everything is going to have to fall perfectly in place for them to get that lead back, as in Perez is going to need to, what we saw in Baku, Perez is going to need to show that at every single Grand Prix from here on out. We need Verstappen to be back in the mix properly to get this into a proper fight. Last 11 races, Red Bull have only outscored McLaren once. So they're going to have to buck that trend now that they're the ones doing the chasing. And I have to agree with you both. I think Ferrari could pose a bigger challenge at this point in the season than Red Bull do.
I think what's compounding everything you've just said there, Ben, is two things that came out in the course of the last week. One, that Andrea Stella has said, yes, there are more upgrades to come. We are not done upgrading this current car. We will continue to drive performance forward for the 2024 McLaren car, which, if you're anyone else right now, that is a menacing sentence to hear giving a press conference. Yeah, that is scary, because they've already got everything firing. The next part, of course, is that Red Bull have had to make an announcement literally today as we record this, that they will not be running any special liveries simply because the paint that they need for them is too heavy and it sacrifices too much performance that they're already missing. Now, a Red Bull of the past would quite happily add on a kilogram of weight to ensure that they've got a lovely marketing movement that encompasses all of their community and they get some really cool imagery. Not anymore. They are panicking, they are at risk, and they know that it comes down to the wire. Every single milligram of weight might cost them points at this point. So they are sacrificing all of these special liveries that they're deciding to bring in for the sake they might gain a position or two. It's a different side to Red Bull that we have not seen for a very long time.
But at least we do have a special livery from Minard Enham.
And, of course, Mercedes, who are becoming Aston Martin for the day.
Yes. Freaking hell. Crofty's going to wet himself.
He might just spontaneously combust at this rate.
Just green. Someone's going to shout for the entire race. Green. Just explode.
Honestly, the confusion between four drivers, that could be something to behold. The Drivers' Championship, Sam, that's now 59 points separating Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Only 3 points gained by Norris in that Grand Prix. Was looking like it was going to go the other way, of course, after qualifying, but Norris still did finish 3 points ahead. What sort of result do both Norris and Verstappen need here for the rest of this season?
Norris needs to start putting it together, right? He has got this incredible talent. We know he's got this brilliant pace. And when it does come together, as we saw in the likes of Zandvoort, the domination can really be there. Lando Norris can absolutely run away with this, but he needs to start putting it together consistently. Not one racing 3, one racing 4, where he suddenly finds himself right at the front and fighting for a victory or coming in second place. Every single race. The fact that he's won as many as Oscar Piastri this season is a bit weird. Like, when you say it out loud, they both won 2 Grand Prix. That's weird to me. It feels like Lando Norris should be winning more regularly. Now, with 7 Grand Prix to go and a 59-point gap, realistically, Norris needs to win 6 of the next 7. And he needs Max Verstappen to finish in 3rd or below. If you're new to Formula 1, you maybe don't know the points. That's a 10-point gap for every single race, 25 for the win, 15 for 3rd. He needs to hope that that's as good as Max Verstappen finishes, and Norris is hitting 1st and 2nd at the worst every single race, I would say, until we hit Brazil, Vegas area, and then he sees where he is from there. He cannot afford to slip up again. I think he gets one more race where he picks up 1-2 points more than Max Verstappen. I don't know how attainable it is unless Red Bull really crumble at the far end of this season. I really do think it's going to be a challenge if the results don't start going Lando Norris's way now, immediately.
Yeah, this is one that belongs in the book, but Lando Norris needs to start winning. That is my advice to you, Lando. Start winning. I'm not sure what you're going to do with that. But it's true, because that is the difference currently between himself and Max Verstappen. It doesn't sound, like you referenced, Sam, it doesn't sound real to say, but last 10 Grand Prix, we have had 4 drivers win multiple races. None of them are Lando Norris. Piastri, Hamilton, Leclerc, and Verstappen have all won twice in the last 10. Lando Norris hasn't. He's only got that win at Zandvoort. And ultimately, podiums, he's got the same number as Verstappen. They both have 10 podiums this year, but Verstappen's converted 7 of those into wins. Norris has converted 2 of those. So he's going to have to start the points gap again. 7 points between 1st and 2nd. That's a bigger gap than between 2nd and 4th. So, getting over the line, getting that 2nd to 1st, that is, I think, the only way that he's going to be able to break this, 58, 59 points advantage down. From Verstappen's perspective, he just needs to, similar-ish to what he did in Baku. I know it wasn't a great weekend, but when he was in wheel-to-wheel contact with the likes of Norris and Russell, there weren't any risky moves. We've seen from the Silverstone Grand Prix this year where he wasn't particularly quick, but he still made the most of the result. That's essentially what he needs to do. He needs to qualify better. He struggled a little bit in the last couple of Grand Prix in that regard. And it's almost like he needs to take 1% or 2 off, I think, in qualifying. Because I think at the moment he's just trying to get that car to where it doesn't belong, which is understandable. But I think he's got that buffer that he might need to start thinking about that slightly differently. Harry, what do you think?
I said this it was a submission to the power rankings on Patreon. You need to not be knocked out of Q1 if you want to be champion. Again, put it in the book. For Norris, it's he should have scored way more against Verstappen in Baku, and he gained 3 points on him, that's not enough. That's not enough points. Opposite of there's too many, that's not enough.
We don't have 20 races left. If we had 20 races left, it'd be in luck, but we don't. You
need more than just to chip away at it. You need to properly ice scrape it, ice pick. Get at it. So yeah, he I know it's an obvious thing to say, but he needs to be outscoring, especially whilst Verstappen and Red Bull are struggling. He needs to be outscoring him way more. Baku was a missed opportunity, as there have been other missed opportunities this year. And Singapore, again, I've mentioned it's a mixed up form, normally for Singapore, but if the Red Bull isn't strong, as it wasn't last year, then Norris needs to win. He needs to win to get a big chunk of points on him, because, yeah, like I say, chipping away 3 points at a time, like you said, Ben, the math do not comply with that. So, Norris needs to. Is there a case of, and again, this is understandable because it's the first time being in any sort of F1 championship battle, bit of pressure getting to him here? Is he overdriving, overthinking? I know the Q1 elimination is a bit of a different story, but I do think there's an element of him not it doesn't seem relaxed in himself, and actually that's bringing out a worse performance in him.
I think he could have struggled more at Baku than what he did in the race. I mean, because
his comeback was very good.
It would have been easy for him to, I think, melt in those conditions and try to make moves too early and cook those tires so he didn't have the tire life when Albon stopped, as an example. But yeah,
I mean, Baku's probably not the best example because quality wasn't necessarily his fault, and then he was good in the race. But other opportunities this year, I don't know. But yeah, not that I'd forgive him for it, but you can understand because this is the first time he's been doing it. He's going into a battle like this, so I don't know. We'll see what happens this weekend. But yeah, for sure, he needs to gain some points because Verstappen, even on his worst days, is still frighteningly consistent.
But McLaren don't need to worry. They've got 4 DRS zones to play with this week.
Oh, that's 4? That's insane. There you go, everyone. There you go. There it is. Yeah, Lando needs to go full Bruce Bogtrotter. Put the cake down. The cake is the points. Scoff it all, Lando. Don't leave any crumbs. Don't let others pick up and have a bite. You lick the big plate clean and then smash it over your head and look at Max Verstappen right in the eyes and go, they're all mine. It's all mine. And everyone's going, Bruce, Bruce, Bruce. Anyway, that's what needs to happen for Lando Norris right now. Also at Singapore, Red Bull have had major floor issues, right? That's actually where the problems are coming from with the pace. Singapore is a bumpy boy. We're going to be in for a bumpy ride. They're going to struggle. I genuinely think they're going to struggle here. Lando has to capitalise.
I'm delighted. I actually had Bruce Bogtrotter on my LB bingo card. So
everyone, tick it off.
One off.
Anyway,
great.
If anyone plays LB bingo when they listen, please let us know because that would be excellent.
If you make a card, can you send it in, please? I'd like to see a photo.
Yes.
Is there going to be any papaya rules this weekend? Do you reckon?
Papa rules.
It's Papa rules now.
Papa rules now.
Yes.
There it is. Should we do some bold predictions?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was lining up the that sound.
Yeah, serves you right.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Karma. Sorry. Here we go.
Gather around, little children, and listen to my song. My F1 bold predictions and how they'll all be wrong.
The late-breaking abacus did not move last week because none of us got our bold predictions right. But we are on a quest to turn that around this week. Sam, what have you got?
I'm going to go really niche with the bold prediction.
That always goes well.
Yeah. Crofty, who is back this weekend.
We have bold prediction about Crofty. Love this.
Yeah, he's back this weekend. Harry Benjamin, of course, covered Baku. Crofty got his weekend off. AlphaTauri, as we know, not AlphaTauri, the denim car are running a denim livery.
The irony of this. But anyway, carry on.
About denim jeans. And I think Crofty is going to make an incredibly cringe, crude denim joke, maybe about something coming off or being unzipped. And I think that's what is going to go down. It's going to be gross. So that's my bold prediction.
I think it would be bold if you predicted that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll allow it because I appreciate the creativity, but that's definitely happening.
I put good money on it happening, not on it not happening.
And I want any session, by the way. Any session is open for this. If you hear it, record it and send it in, please.
Sam's going to watch every minute of Crofty on the TV this weekend, glued to the screen.
We need an over-under betting system. Is it going to be over or under 3 mentions of denim? 3 jokes about denim? Because that would be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can hit 3 easily.
Who knows?
Me, Ben, and Kirsty won't be allowed to speak every time Crofty's on the TV. Shut up. Is he making a denim joke?
Just hear him zipping.
That counts. What's your bold prediction, Harry?
I'm saying that Max Verstappen will not finish in the points, and not because he's out of the race.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty... He usually finishes in the points.
Yeah, he's
quite high up there too.
He makes a habit of it. Yeah.
My bold prediction, 2024 is starting to feel a bit like 2019 based on Charles Leclerc winning in Monza. So I think just like in 2019...
Sebastian Vettel's going to win.
Close.
Oh.
That really would be bold. Ferrari 1-2.
Oh, nice.
Okay, saucy. Oh, that's a good round of bold predictions today.
Pole 1, 2, 3. Sam, what have you got?
I haven't thought about this at all. Pole is going to be Leclerc. The wing is going to be Piastri. Second will be Norris. Third will be Leclerc.
I'm going Pole Leclerc, first Leclerc, second Sainz, third Norris. Harry?
I'm going Pole Leclerc, first Norris, second Leclerc, and third Piastri.
Good stuff. We'll take our first break on this episode. On the other side, we've got some comments from James Vowles about Franco Colapinto.
Little Colapinto bean.
I thought he was upgraded.
Oh yeah, sorry, baked bean because boy been cooking.
I'm not allowing it.
I am allowing it because it's excellent.
Welcome back, everyone. That was definitely not an unhinged break that we just had. All good here at LBHQ. We've got some comments now from James Vowles about Franco Colapinto, who's now 2 races into his F1 career and, of course, scored points at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. James Vowles had the following to say. In 2 races, he showed the world he's deserving of a place in Formula One. I've always been a firm believer that you have to let good drivers race. So we'll see if we can find a way of working with Audi in that circumstance. That's what I was implying for next year. Now, we know, Sam, that there aren't necessarily a lot of seats still going around for 2025, but Sauber/Audi is one of them. Do you think that Audi/Sauber should consider Franco Colapinto for that second seat?
I brought something up like this very similarly in our power rankings when we spoke about Colapinto. And Ben, I think I asked you, do they have a problem when it comes to Sainz at the end of this season because of how well he's doing? And this has literally confirmed it immediately. And I am seething at James Vowles. I'm genuinely so annoyed at James Vowles right now. Not only are you so audacious to go, we'll work with Audi. We'll stick our guy who's done 2 Grand Prix in the Audi car. When you've got people like Teo Pourchaire, who is an F2 champion that's desperate for some kind of drive, even people like Liam Lawson, who's already done the majority of what Colapinto is now doing and did a great job, deserves a seat. Bottas, I know it's not youth, but deserves a seat. You had the chance to give him a seat from the start of this season or earlier, with Sargent being so bad, who you chose to re-sign for another year. You believed in him for some reason when literally all of us, the 3 of us, all of you not listening, so many of you all agreed, should have canned him, should have got someone else in the seat, should have given someone else a year to try. And now you've got the predicament where you've signed a brilliant driver in Carlos Sainz, and your youth driver, who is very good, who you clearly had faith in, has delivered on the goods, and now you're going to frustrate him. And now you don't know where he's going to go. And no, I don't think Audi should pick him up. I do not think it's the responsibility of Audi to go, oh, yeah. They're not some kind of palm off from Williams. Williams, you're the yuppies that take the handoffs from other teams. You're the ones that are at the back of the grid, remember? You need the engines, you need the drivers, you need the money. Not Audi, not global superstars Audi. They pick whoever they want, sunshine. James Vowles, you've mucked up here, mate. You've absolutely mucked up. And I don't see why Audi should pick up your leftovers when you've gone, oh no, this hasn't gone the way we wanted it to. Colapinto's actually very good and we haven't got a place for him. That's your own fault. Deal with it.
I don't disagree with that point, but they're still signing Carlos Sainz, even if Colapinto's been there all year.
No, I know. I get that.
So they still have the same problem.
But Sainz might not have signed, right? If Colapinto did half a season, he was smashing it. They might never have gone, well, we don't need to spend the money on Sainz because we've got the second driver that's actually improving himself. I
still think they go for Sainz. If Sainz is the best, yeah, I know. You're dealing in ifs and buts, but yeah, anyway.
What do you think, Harry?
Oh, I think Audi should definitely take James Vowles up on this offer, because if they sign Williams' young driver before their own, I want Ben's reaction recorded.
You know what? My whole opinion has changed. That is the only reason I want this to happen.
Why they signed, Franco Colapinto being before Teo Pourchaire, and then I just want Ben to record his reaction because he'll pop. Look, Williams are in a bit of a pickle here, and I agree. Even if it was at the beginning of the season, I'd have got him based. And again, this is only 2 Grand Prix, but back it was impressive. There's no doubt about it. So was Monza, but Monza's Monza. But back it was definitely impressive for Colapinto. And you know, it's clear he's got some talent, and in the way that Logan Sargent, if he had a crash early on in a weekend, and that was the writing on the wall for the rest of the weekend, like he never could pick himself out of that mess. Colapinto had a little love tap with the ball on Friday, made a mistake. He just got on with it, didn't let it affect him, and went on and delivered a great weekend. And that is the mark of a good driver, because yeah, as we saw with Sargent, it just didn't happen for him in that way. And there's no disrespect to Logan. It just you know, some drivers are good and some are not. And I think Colapinto is falling into that good category at the moment. So it's a shame for Williams that they've only just discovered this. It's a nice problem to have in the way that, you know, they've definitely got a driver they can back, but it's James Vowles trying to be the nice person here and say, oh, Audi, you could have this driver, he's good, but Audi aren't going to do that.
Also, for what, a 1 or 2 year loan as well? Why would they take this?
There's no way. We've spoken previously about, do they do, you know, youth versus experience debate? Again, Audi, just to reiterate, you've got the experience already. you've bagged that one. You can go for youth. So it's not an outrageous suggestion that he could be that person, but they've got someone already lined up for that. You'd hope so. Yeah, I think it's James Vowles trying to be with some wishful thinking and yeah, like you say, Sam, maybe just trying to cover his own back a bit on why he didn't put Colapinto in the bean. Colapinto in the bean? Colapinto in the car.
Like a kid's storybook. Colapinto in the bean.
Colapinto in the car sooner than they did.
That's hit me harder than a Colapinto in the bean, that.
Magic beans, these will be soon.
Oh,
it's a new merch idea.
Everyone probably expects me right now to go on some Teo Porsche rant, but honestly, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Crusade.
Yeah. Look, even if you don't think Teo Porsche is the answer, which I appreciate, there are plenty of people out there that don't think Porsche is the answer, including every Sauber employee, because they don't know he's there, apparently. Again, he's an F2 champion, and he's part of your junior academy, like he always has been as well. Even if you don't think Porsche is the answer, Colapinto is not the answer. Why on earth would they sign him? And that's no disrespect to Colapinto, who has done a good job through 2 races, but there's no logic to it. Why are Sauber in this position where they are debating between, you know, Lawson, part of the RB Red Bull Academy, and Colapinto, part of the Williams Academy, and Bortoletto, who's currently part of the McLaren Academy? Take your own driver. What's the point in Sauber being a daycare center for a team for a year? And then what? So in 2 years' time, you can watch Colapinto, who's now got a year's worth of experience under your belt, and you can watch him lap you like, yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he? Yeah, we helped him be that good. He's beating us now. Yeah, why did we do that again? There's no logic to it. And to your point, Sam, Williams have typically been the team getting the scraps, not the ones who are sending their drivers off to be nurtured. I don't love the whole idea of lone drivers generally, but at least when it's Behrman, who is part of the Ferrari Academy, Haas aren't going to be competing with Ferrari. Okay, they're in 2 different leagues. We're talking about Williams here. We're not talking about Mercedes when they sent George Russell to Williams, where you've got a championship-winning team and a team that can't even get a point. This is two could be rivals. Like, they are 2 positions apart in the championship. I appreciate Sauber are not in a good position, but I just think if they go for experience with Bottas, fine. If they go for youth with Porsche, even if they take Zane Maloney, who's in F2 and is part of their, fine. At least you're building for your future and not for someone else's. I just think Colapinto, Lawson, Bortoletto, if they can't get him away from McLaren, all of these options that are being spoken about, I don't see any value in it unless they get them out of their parent system.
We might have a decision on Lawson between this episode and the qualifying episode at this rate, because of course that will be out on a Thursday. So good.
Well, we will see. I mean, we've spoken a little bit about how if Audi doesn't come together for Colapinto, how James Vowles manages that situation. And we have seen something similar with Lawson, I guess, this year. Sam, you've obviously said what you think about how James Vowles has almost put himself in this situation to begin with. But from here, where does he go if Colapinto's not picked up?
Well, I don't know where he goes from here. He's got Sainz, who is a fantastic driver, and he's a real steal for Williams. He is a brilliant asset to have, and he kind of what did he come out to say? This is step 1 of 1,000 after Sainz got signed, right? We've got the new 100 race plan. It's step 1 of 1,000 plan now. So brilliant. Poor Alex Albon, having re-signed, is apparently not part of this step. He was the pre-step. He was the crawl.
Minus 43 step.
Apparently, to get back to any form of normality was Alex Albon. Good stuff. Albon and Sainz are a fantastic lineup. They really are. But it's just so frustrating that Colapinto was always Williams' asset. He was always there, and you decided to go with Sargent. For what reason, I literally don't know. I do not know what you saw in him or what you were gaining by having him, when you could have taken a different risk, and maybe you have got to the summer break and gone, actually, Colapinto's really, really great. We probably don't need to go out and spend the money on Sainz. So what do they do with Colapinto? Sits on the sidelines, send him to IndyCar.
Back to F2.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you could do a season there, right? But if he wings it, then what? Sainz is signed up for a multi-year deal here. It's not like Sainz is going to be walking out before the 2026 season. So it's going to be at least 2027 by the time that Colapinto gets a shot in that Williams car. Realistically, it's too long. You look at people like Drugovich, who won Formula 2. He's barely like a sniff. He's not even allowed in the bloody bakery to smell the baked goods at this point. And he won, the Play Junior Championship. F2 drivers are falling by the wayside, and they've just got to wait for so long. If only we had more cars on the grid. I know that's impossible. I know there's no suggestions about that happening, but more drives would be fantastic in this scenario. I think this is a lost situation here. Colapinto won't get on this grid anytime soon unless he's bought out of his contract by someone. And James Vowles, I don't think, can find a suitable alternative that is beneficial for everyone involved. I just don't think it's a realistic option.
It's a lose situation for Franco Colapinto, but I don't think it's a lose situation for James Vowles or Williams, because their lineup is Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz.
Well, that's a fair point.
And they've got Colapinto as a reserve for at least a year to step in if something does go wrong.
Yeah, it goes back to my point. This is, I agree with you, Sam, that he should have been in the car sooner. But when was the last time Williams had this sort of problem? Oh no, we've got 3 good drivers. What are we going to do?
Have they ever had 3 good drivers?
In the mid-noughties? I don't know.
So 22 decades ago.
Montoya. Depends how much you rate Mark Genet, I guess.
Yeah, or Antonio Pizzonia.
As long as he doesn't do turn 1 at the circuit in Catalonia, right?
Him and Johnny Herbert.
Go and watch that clip if you haven't.
That's a great clip. Oh, I'm going to go watch that afterwards.
Yeah.
It's again, I'm not saying he's played it well, but the wider not issue, but wider point here is that they've got 2 great drivers and also a good driver in the wings, which is for Williams where they've been. I don't think James Vowles is going to lose too much sleep over it.
We'll have to see what happens on that. Let's move on to everyone's favourite segment, F1 Fantasy, see how we're doing after Azerbaijan.
I love this segment.
Firstly, congratulations to Papayas for All, because they won this week.
Papa rules.
Papa rules now.
Tame Refon, we love you so much.
354 points, which was the top score. Top 3 overall in the championship. It's Albon Wrong leading the way. Team Austrian Anthem in second. Prancing Zebras currently in third. As for the 4 of us, it wasn't looking great for me, but that crash helped me a bit at the end. So I've gained 41 positions. I'm up to 172nd.
On a charge, mate.
Yeah, well, not as much as you, though. 86 positions gained for Sam, and he's back into second place, 307th. Kirsty's looking miserable. She's enjoyed the high life of second and has dropped back down to third. Drop of 16 positions, 335th. We are about 3/4 of the way through the season at this point. I appreciate we have people joining all the time. It's been a long season, and I think now would be a good time to reflect back on what has happened so far with Mr. Harry Eads' season. Roll the footage.
Oh, no.
Harry is first. Sorry, 901st. Wow. Hey, I've got you all exactly where I want you. I've got you all exactly where I want you. P1177. You got 10 million left to spend. Oh 1,244th. It's been a tricky start to the season. You're 1,281st. I'm certain on the basis of probability that this will turn around for me at some point.
Harry, you are in 1,320th.
Things can only get better.
No, you're wrong. Again. You're now 1,338th.
Oh, no. I mean, but on the balance of probability and how far down I am, I would say yes, I've improved.
You're down 14 positions, so your new position is 1,352nd. Now 1,366th.
Don't understand.
Make that 1,398th. You might want to make jokes here.
Right.
Harry played a chip this week. You're now 1,467th. Yep. Yep. 1,512. If you're interested, 1,530th.
That's not bad.
No, it is.
Again, well, yeah, no, it wasn't great.
I've got you all exactly where I want you.
Very good, Ben.
That could have gone better for me.
And it has gone better. It's a landmark week.
Yes.
Because Harry Eade, the man we call Titanic, because all he does is sink, right? He is up 8 positions.
8.
Come on! Oh, what a beautiful day.
Well done, mate. You actually text us as well because you thought you'd had a good week.
Do you know what? I'll be real. I thought it might have been more than 8.
Didn't exceed your expectations.
Well, yeah. I'll take it.
The comeback starts now.
Exactly. I've got you all exactly where I want you.
Exactly where I want you.
I love how you can track the positivity diminishing through all those clips to the point where I just go, yep,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
The funny thing is, you said I've got you exactly where I want you after the first race. I used that clip again, but you actually said it after the 10th race as well. So it's got to be true at some point.
One of these times it'll be true.
Today, it has been true. The comeback starts here.
I'm playing the long game, and it's actually, I mean, for 2025.
Yeah. The points don't carry over, mate. They start at 0.
That's what I mean. I'm luring you into a sense of, what was it? A false sense of security.
Man, you've got it. We'll take our second break on this episode. On the other side, Under Pressure. Okay, it's time for Under Pressure. We, of course, have submissions from our Discord server that we'll be playing very shortly. But before we get there, we've got our own Under Pressure. So we can pick a driver, a team member, a team, whatever we want to go for. Sam, who or what is under pressure?
I'm going for Daniel Ricciardo being under pressure. Been called delusional last week. Been told that his performance is better, if not equal, at least to Yuki, as they are now 8-8 in race performance winning moments. We'll ignore all the DNFs that have happened to Yuki Tsunoda. And apparently, he's really doing a great job. Well, there's a lot of rumors going around that he might not have a job come the end of this race weekend. So he better step up and perform right now. And that's hoping that Yuki finishes the race and he beats him handedly as well. So yeah, Daniel Ricciardo.
Harry.
I'm going for Red Bull because
reasons.
The first topic.
Please see the first 20 minutes. It's an obvious one, but they momentum is on McLaren's side, and if they have any hope of wanting to regain this championship lead, they need a car that goes well, and they need both drivers to be able to drive it well. Because great, Sergio Perez was back. A bit better, back to better form in Baku, but your championship driver was not. He wasn't really there. You need both of them to do well. So Red Bull.
I put Alpine under pressure for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix because I said
very, very harsh.
Well, maybe so, but I said Alpine have got to be worried because they've got Haas in front of them who look pretty good at Monza, and they've got Williams behind them who look pretty good at Monza. And if they're not careful, they might be looking at 9th place in the championship very soon. I didn't quite mean that soon because they are now 9th in the Constructors Championship. So guess what, Alpine? you're under pressure again. I don't care. I'll put you on 2 weeks in a row. I can do that. No points scored at Baku. Wasn't really that close, even with a few DNFs. They had an issue in FP1, an issue in FP3. They had Pierre Gasly, who said he had the worst Friday of his season. They had a driver disqualify Gasly from qualifying. They had Ocon start from the pit lane. The only thing they didn't really do was like fully crash both cars. But if that's like the flaw, then you haven't had a great race. So yeah, you're under pressure again.
It's hard to crash when you're barely moving.
It's a fair point.
Very profound, mate.
Do you think they are, Alpine, requesting with the FIA to have like the old configuration of Singapore back? Because that one doesn't have straights. Or at least as many. Because they can't do straights, apparently.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we don't have that bit anymore.
They can't really do corners either, though.
They can't do anything. Point. This is an insight, folks. Ben went onto Alpine's website for something this week, and their recapture form doesn't even work. So
their recapture form doesn't exist, but also doesn't work. It tells you to just try it again, but it's not even there. And that's the most Alpine thing you've ever heard in your life, isn't it? Should we listen to some of our Discord submitters?
Yes, let's do that. Thank you, everyone, for submitting. We, as ever, really appreciate it. First up, buggers.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. Most under pressure for Singapore is the McLaren race engineers in pit wall from stopping. Just stop saying the cringiest things imaginable, or I will fly to Singapore and shove my arms so far up their bums and work them like Muppets and try to, do my best Kermit the Frog impression. 'Cause stop it, guys. It's ridiculous. It's getting annoying, guys.
I don't know. Whenever I'm doing the podcast, I always think, imagine Ben sitting on my shoulder, feeding me stats, and how
I wondered where that
it.
sentence was going following that. I'll be real.
I hate it so much.
Can you do a Kermit the Frog impersonation, Sam?
I can do Miss Piggy.
Go on then.
Oh, Kermit! What don't you want me sitting on your shoulder? Well, Marge.
Oh my god, I feel like I was transported.
Oh, Kermit! No, I actually hate the Muppets, so it's probably the worst thing I can. I'm better at Elmo, I think. We'll save that for beer we're breaking.
Next.
Thank you, bungers. I did wonder why the file was called Muppet GP Under Pressure, but that makes a lot more sense. Chucky the Ducky is next.
Whack.
Under pressure in Singapore is Lando Norris. Over the last several races, Max has left the door pretty wide open for Lando to make a move in the Drivers' Championship. But so far, Lando hasn't made a whole lot of progress. So given that Max has never won in Singapore, it seems like sort of Lando's opportunity to really make a move here for the Drivers' Championship. Make sure to subscribe on Patreon, everyone. It is worth the money.
God, I love that.
Man's never won at Singapore. He's just won everywhere, hasn't he? Like, that's just weird.
It's wash, mate.
Good.
I guess.
Get good scrub.
Okay, good. Big American Daddy's next.
This is Big American Daddy. I'm going to tell you what's under pressure this week for Singapore. My damn blood pressure. Being a Max Verstappen fan is killing me right now. He had this championship sewed up, and now I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Well, you guys are doing great. Love you. Bye.
Thank you.
I hope it turns around for you, mate.
Yeah, Max, if you're going to do it for anyone, do it for the Big American Daddy. You need you.
Imagine on the podium afterwards. This one's for you, Big American Daddy.
Lift up his shirt. Big American Daddy.
Bad.
And the BAD.
Yeah. Wet Cape Mag is next.
Gene Hass's close personal friend, Wet K-Mag here. My under pressure for Singapore has got to be Dry K-Mag. Guy's got no penalty points left. Last leg of his F1 career. What else does he have to lose? It's going to be carnage. Love the podcast. Join the Patreon.
Have you checked the weather forecast? It might be Wet K-Mag.
Please let it rain. Good Lord, please let it rain.
Oh, baby. Next is Sebalicious, who I'm pleased to say is sober this time.
Hello, lads. My under pressure for the Singapore Grand Prix is Alexander Albon. If a little cappuccino is doing this good,
hang on a second,
and in his second race, are you actually good? Because you've only had 2 very poor drivers next to you, and have they just made you look better than you are, mate?
Oof.
That's that me espresso.
Little cappuccino. Franco cappuccino. We're not letting that slide. Surely. If I can't have collar baked bean, he can't have cappuccino.
You can't really pass judgment at this point.
Yeah, collar baked bean is so bad. Collar pinto bean works. Little cappuccino kind of works.
I'm sorry.
Collar baked bean.
You just said Colapinto bean works because you said it first.
It does work, though. It's literally his name with another word on it.
Yeah, and mine's to play on that because he was cooking. He's just said cappuccino. Because what happens when you cook a pinto bean? It becomes a baked bean, obviously.
We're not doing a Colapinto nickname tier list.
If you'd like to do that, please send it in. All right. Well, thanks, Seb. Next up is Tamer F1.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness.
What's happening, late breakers? It's Tamer F1. Under pressure submission this week. I'm going to say Sergio Perez. Brother, do me a favor, drive the car. You drive a Red Bull, not a South African bullfrog. Thanks, boys.
Oh, good.
Sorry,
if it's just Baku again, that's all right. Well, I mean,
minus the last lap.
End, but yeah.
I appreciate him starting that submission but having no thought of it. That's very me. I enjoy that.
He did the thing that all good comics do well. He saw his previous success in Papa Rules, right? And he moved on immediately. Next thing, he's ahead of the game, right? Don't drag it on. He's unlike us who drag on every joke we've ever had. Right.
We'll be playing that in 2030, by the way.
People won't know why.
Drag on jokes for.
Oh, dear.
Your children will go, what does Papa Rules mean? They keep playing it.
Good. All Good Always is next.
Highly breaking. It is finally the Singapore Grand Prix. I am so excited. It is my home race, so I will be spending my weekend at the circuit. Super excited. Been waiting the entire year for this. Under pressure. Gotta be Charles Leclerc. The fact that there's a statistic of him having the worst pole to win conversions is just, it sucks. So hopefully he can break that curse this weekend. That would be super cool. Anyways, love you guys on the podcast. Bye.
I actually love it when we have a listener at the racetrack. Please get a little message into us on the review as well, because it is always great to hear trackside.
Damn right.
Virgil is next.
Yeah, it's Virgil, your favorite Floridian. Under pressure for Singapore is both the Sauber drivers, and we're throwing Daniel Ricciardo in here too, because y'all, it is well past the window for contract extensions here, and ain't one of them got something to show for themselves. Sauber over here is about to pull a Haas, place both their drivers, and Toro Rosso basically promised a seat to Liam Lawson, and you know what? I don't blame any of them, because the performances this season have been pitiful. They need to get in the points, do something, but yikes. Anyway, love y'all. Love the podcast. Bye.
That was so Floridian.
It might have been Logan Sargent.
I loved it.
She got it Toro Rosso as well, which is excellent. I appreciate that. Finally is Chosen Tolby.
Hey boys, Chosen Tolby here from Alabama, United States. Just putting in my under pressure for this week, first time submitter. I think it's Red Bull after the Singapore race last year, and Lando's starting to creep up on Max. I mean, he's got to do something. He's got to put some distance between him and Orlando for the season. All right, keep breaking late, boys.
Very fair shouts. Yeah.
Thank you very much to everyone who put their submission in, as always. And we'll be back for some more on Sunday for Moment of the Race, of course. Let's move on to some comments from Christian Horner, as naturally he was asked about the news that Adrian Newey will be moving on to Aston Martin. This is what he had to say about it. It was obviously a large announcement by Aston, and Adrian has always tended to do his own thing. So obviously it was a big moment for that team. They chose to celebrate it perhaps potentially slightly prematurely before he has finished his contract with Red Bull Racing. But obviously, it was a big moment for that team. Adrian is how many times say obviously? Adrian is obviously a very creative guy, and he is not your average designer. I think he is the only person still in Formula One working on a drawing board. So inevitably, there will be a process of having to get to know each other and how each other works and so on. Sam, your thoughts on his comments about the announcement being premature?
Christian, mate, wind your neck in, shut up. Just come across as a bitter, sad man that lost his, my best friend's not going to play with me anymore, he's moved away. Why not announce it? Why not get the morale in? Why not get everyone accustomed to what's going on? This has put stonks for Aston Martin. This is the upwards trajectory of their stock prices through the bloody roof. Usain Bolt it, baby, all the way up. If you're on YouTube, you'll have seen that.
Sorry.
Why, if you're asked, why not? Why are you hiding this? Why would you delay it? Why would you hold off? Oh no, we'll keep it a secret. But Alonso's there, bloody chomping at the bit to tell everyone anyway. Take my money. Take my money.
Yeah, I was going to say, he said he'd give up some of his salary. Also, he's just been texting him every day. Please join.
That's so Alonso.
I love you, Adrian. I love you.
You can have my house.
Yeah. I will sleep in the street for you, Adrian. Which I just love about Alonso, that you probably would. Christian, mate, just shut up. Just shut up. You're just being grumpy. You're losing the battle. You're losing the war at this point. And I just think he's a little bit like, he's got the ump. He's a bit, I don't want to go to the party. My friend's gone with someone else now, so I don't want to go. And I just, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the atmosphere. Who's hurting? Who's losing out here? You've already lost your man, so move on. Deal with it. Be happy. I didn't really enjoy the response. I just thought it reeked of bitterness, really.
Harry, do you have a different response than shut up?
No.
Good. Okay.
But yeah, wind your neck in is a valid response, I think, Sam. Look, we know Christian Horner. Christian Horner is a master of playing to the media. Give him his due. He does it very well. But I genuinely think, he thought Adrian Newey was just going to retire. Like, he's off. He's done his good stint at Red Bull. He's won a load of championships. He's off into the sunset. He's going to design my RB17 car. We'll get that one out on the road, and then he's going to just retire and put his feet up. Christian, mate, you're delusional. What? It's almost like that he didn't think it was going to happen, that another team would snap him up. And maybe he thought it would, there was long thought they would be Ferrari. Maybe he'd come to terms with it. But the fact that Aston Martin, who previously had a relationship with Red Bull, let's not forget, the fact that they've snapped him up, I think he's just, like you said, Sam, he's just a bit bitter about it. And it came across. Why would they not make a big song and dance about this? He is the most successful person in the paddock. He's won more titles than anyone else. So for Aston Martin, as we said when we talked about this last week, I know they've got a lot of money coming in now, a lot of resource, but they are still effectively Jordan. That's where we're coming from here. This is a big coup for what is actually a small team. And it's the same when Red Bull. I don't remember Ron Dennis coming out and saying, I was a bit premature from Red Bull to announce Christian Horner, Adrian Newey coming to Red Bull in 2006 or whatever it was. No.
He was too busy writing papaya rules.
No, he wasn't. Goodness me.
He would rather burn himself alive.
He wouldn't.
Less painful.
Ron Dennis wouldn't even paint the car papaya, let alone could say papaya rules.
Black. Everything is black.
Silver.
Yeah, love silver.
Lack of colour.
Anyway, so yeah, just like I said, Christian was a master of the media and talking to the the TV and the journalists, but this wasn't his finest hour.
If Christian Horner did think that he was going to go off and retire, he's not only wrong, he's very wrong, because not only is he joining Aston Martin, it's how he's joining Aston Martin as well. Like, he's going to be a shareholder. He's going to be leading a team. He's not coming in as like a bit of an external consultant working 2 days a week. Like, he's going to be integral to that team. So he was a long way off the mark if that's what he thought. I don't really have too much to add on this. I think he's low-key mad about this. If he's bringing it up in this situation behind the scenes, I think he's fuming. But what does it matter to you? I mean, everyone knows he's going. It doesn't really impact you. The only thing, and this is an aside, I was a bit surprised at like a couple of things about the press conference and how like Adrian Newey was like wearing an Aston Martin pin badge. And I had no problem with it, but it was a little bit odd to me that someone still employed by Red Bull had that just there.
And went to the factory and everything. I thought they might have done just a press release to announce it. But yeah, he did like a full press day at the factory, right?
Yeah. And ultimately, it really doesn't matter. I was maybe a tad surprised about it, but to be annoyed about it, come on, Christian.
A lot of banter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hit Adrian, put some wings on my boy.
He's given GP a promotion today, isn't he?
Yeah, head of racing, but it'll still be Max's engineer.
Yeah. They went, oh, Bono got a new role.
Well, it's basically the same thing, isn't it?
Didn't know we can make that one. There you go, GP. New job for you.
GP deserves a promotion. Man's had to deal with a lot of sass.
GP deserves a holiday, a very long holiday.
Man deals with a lot of sass, but he can totally give it out as well.
Yeah, I know, but I appreciate him giving it out. He's excellent.
Right, we'll have our final break on this episode on the other side. It's time for late faking. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for late faking.
This is the late faking game, where one answer is fake and the other ones are right. So help me Christ, I'll make my decision in a second, Sam. You're gonna have to wait, cause Ben made this game so hard, and I'm down by 5.
Late faking. So there are 6 questions in front of me, and there are 4 answers that I will give out, but one of those pesky answers doesn't belong in the category. It's the job of Sam and Harry to pick out which one that is. So we'll start with Harry this week. What number would you like from 1 to 6?
Number 6, please.
Number 6. I'll give you 4 drivers. 3 of them have at least 3 podiums. One of them doesn't have 3 podiums.
Okay.
So you've got Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, Danny Kvyat, and Warwick. Also known as Derek Warwick.
I had a feeling that Warwick was coming up today. I don't know why.
I'll go with Albon.
It is Albon. Well done. He's only got 2 podiums to this point. Stroll and Kvyat both had 3. But Derek Warwick, what a lad, leads the way. 4 podiums.
4.
As many as 4. Really build that up, do you?
Hey, I'll build up any Warwick accomplishment. Right, Harry takes the lead. 1-0. Sam, over to you.
5, please.
Number 5. I'm going to give you 4 predictions by Eddie Jordan.
Oh, God.
Oh, this
Apart
is excellent.
from one of them is made up.
That could be any of them.
Which one is Ben going to laugh at?
Okay, so you've got Volkswagen taking over Red Bull in 2015.
Can you not do it in his accent, please?
Yeah, please do it in his accent.
No chance at all.
Can you do it in a Miss Piggy accent, please?
Volkswagen taking over Red Bull in 2015. Mercedes pulling out of F1 in 2018. Raikkonen replacing Vettel at Red Bull in 2014. And Verstappen and Vettel partnership at Mercedes in 2020. Which of those did he not predict?
Well, that last one is wild.
Yeah, that last one is wild, and therefore is definitely true. I don't know. Honestly, it's pot luck. It literally is pot luck. You don't know. I'm going to say the Verstappen won at Mercedes for 2020.
Nope, he did predict that.
Of course he did.
The one he didn't predict was Raikkonen replacing Vettel at Red Bull in 2014.
Yeah, that is also wild.
But a fair point that any of those could have been true and false. Harry, back to you.
Number 3.
There it is.
Blowing out my seat.
God, what's happening over there?
What's gone? I can give you 4 drivers. 3 of them have crossed the line in first on circuit, but not won the race. Can you name the one who that hasn't happened to?
They've crossed the line in first and then not won the race.
Correct.
But one of them has crossed the line in first and won. What?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
3 of these drivers have crossed the line in first place.
And who's the odd one out? I understand.
Yeah.
Got you.
So you've got Fernando Alonso, Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel.
It's, I don't know, Sebastian Vettel.
It is not Sebastian Vettel. Man crossed the line first at the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix and didn't win.
Oh, poop. Of course he did.
Lewis Hamilton crossed the line first at the 2008 Belgian Grand Prix and didn't win. Michael Schumacher also at Belgium, the 1994 race. He crossed the line first and didn't win it.
So it's Fernando Alonso. He only wins if he crosses the line first.
All he do is win, no matter what.
Thank you very much indeed. Sam, back to you.
I'll have number 2, please.
Number 2. For people that have worked in F1, I want you to name the one of these that hasn't worked for Jordan.
Oh, for crying out loud. Is it just Jordan trivia today?
The best
there is a bit of a theme, isn't there? I can promise you this will be the last mention of Jordan. You've got Gary Anderson, Mike Gascoigne, Rob Smedley, and James Vowles. Which of those has not worked for Jordan?
Smedley.
Sam.
I don't know any of them, mate. Go away.
It is not Rob Smedley. It's James Vowles. Never worked for Jordan. He was back with Mercedes when they were BAR, but never made the trip across to Silverstone. Harry, back to you.
Oh, Harry.
Number 4?
You can have number 4. Well done.
Excellent.
4 circuits. Daniel Ricciardo has won at 3 of them. I need to name the one that he hasn't won at.
Okay.
Well, I've actually written down countries rather than circuits, but anyway, same rules apply. Malaysia, Belgium, the United States, Hungary.
United States.
Correct. Well done. Yes. He has won at the other 3. Sam, back to you for the last question, which is number
1.
Number 1. I'm going to give you 4 constructors, but only 3 of them have raced in F1.
Lego, stick or brick?
I can confirm neither of those 2 are answers. You've got Bugatti.
Yep.
Fry.
Okay.
Lancia.
Yep.
And Citroen.
Okay. Are we by constructors? Are we talking engine manufacturers? Are we talking the full entry of the thing here? Is there specifics?
Full entry, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with Lancia.
It's Citroen. I'd like to see it happen, though.
Quite annoyed about that.
Which means, Harry Eade, well done. Not only have you gone up in fantasy this week, you've also claimed a late faking win.
God, this week just gets better.
It's your week.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
That's one of my favourite Simpsons memes.
It's got so much usage. Speaking of favourite, I've got a little segment for all of you, which just happens to be my favourite because it is the greatest segment in all of Formula One podcasting. It is the
LB question of the week.
Quick.
Nice.
There's a beat going.
Absolutely sped run that one. Excellent.
People like, can you just do that all the time?
We are over an hour in, please.
Question of the week, which we post as always on Instagram and on Twitter. This time we were asking after the unfortunate incident for Williams in Q3 at Baku, where they left that really hard to see fan on the car. Which team and what is going to be left next?
There's a few here that I'm just going to rattle off, I think. Casey on Instagram says hot cakes, which I think is just a great reference to us.
But they've all gone. That's the problem.
They're all in the car, that's why. Then you've got this one from Oresta, who says, Logan Sargent, I forgot to tell him that he doesn't have a seat, which I think is so harsh. Brandt has said Andrea Stella, the shoulder angel, which I think is also absolutely fantastic. And then there was one here. This one comes from Myra, who says they will forget to take Stroll out.
Just roasting drivers here.
I love it.
There's one here that just made me laugh, which was from Horse Ryan that just said Perez.
Why?
no context whatsoever. Obviously Barry Manilow, of course.
Cool, yeah, sure.
Nate Kelber said,
this is a great suggestion.
Yeah,
I like this a lot.
Someone should have thought of this sooner. A real Duracell battery. Because
of the way that they introduce a fake Duracell battery, which is brand new, on the car.
Do you know what? As a piece of marketing,
innovation, man.
On top of the airbox, it's like a battery shape. They should paint a battery on that. Yeah, that's a good idea actually, because it looks like a battery on the F1 car.
I feel like we said something earlier in this episode about not letting jokes die. Did we say that?
Yeah. So that's been almost 2 years, that one. Folks, for reference, on our call here, Sam's turned his camera off, so he's vetoing the rest of this segment.
No more question of the week for Sam. I've got a few here. So Joe, a can of Carling.
Obviously. Is that Northern George?
Of course. Yeah, it wasn't Northern George, surprisingly. It was Joe instead. We had Tim say Sauber will send Joe out with an actual green toaster mounted on their rear wing, which would just be a toaster on a toaster. So that would be interesting.
Well, it'd go faster, I reckon.
David said Pat Fry's travel barbecue, as he has clearly been cooking on the road. Which is nice. A fair point. And then also one from Twitter, which was from Al Sauber, their pride.
Oh.
Oof.
Do you know what one of my favourite things to do is for this feature now is to scroll down to the bottom to the hidden by Instagram bit.
Yeah, I know.
This week's another excellent one.
Yeah.
Find one that made really laugh, but that wasn't hidden by Instagram. F1 Truther has said Colapinto's appendix.
That's on mine. That's hidden by Instagram.
That's a normal comment for me.
Oh well.
Can't put that in front of your delicate eyes, Harry. Too young for that.
A baby.
Right. That's it for this preview episode. As referenced at the beginning of the episode, we are going to be together for the qualifying review on Saturday and the race review on Sunday. You excited, Sam?
I'm buzzing. You also forgot to make sure that Boo Breaking and Power Rankings is going to be done together as well.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have a really grand old time. Folks, thank you for joining us, of course, for another preview. We'll be back again. Make sure you join the Discord during the week so you can hear yourself on the review show when you get your submission in. Patreon is available and you get the loveliness of the classic review. You'll get with Boo Breaking. You'll get your Power Rankings. And if you join the top tier, you'll get your birthday shout out as long as you were born currently in September, because that's how we do it. By the way, if you are a top tier, check your messages and the welcome message, because it asks you to send over your birthday. So make sure you're doing that. You don't miss out on your perks. Everything's ad free and it's cheap as chips. Harry, how much is it?
It's about $12 or something a month.
That's a correct amount. That's a really sensible amount, and no one else would ever think otherwise, right?
No, if they did, they'd be an idiot.
Good. I'm glad we've established that.
Again, what's that about letting jokes die?
Thanks for listening, folks. Follow us on social media, Late Breaking F1. You can watch us on YouTube, Late Breaking F1. I will not be live streaming because I'll be with those two Muppets for the weekend, so we'll be pre-exposed. And that's everything. In the meantime, I've been Samuel Sage.
I've been Ben Hocking.
And I've been a cappuccino.
And remember, keep breaking late.
God's sake.